Dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Igor Vasiliev, Global Investment Academy, and today we're going to talk about upcoming earnings season. And during this video, my main goal is to show why it is important to know when the earnings season is coming, when can we expect it, and how you can use it in order to make extra profit. So the main goal for this video, I'm going to show you some slides here. I presume you see it, but probably also I put it in this video and you'll see it separate. Now, first of all, why it is important to know when the earnings season is coming. Yeah, so why we need to know about that? That's first thing. Secondly, we will see when we can expect that during the year. Okay, I presume you know that there are 4 quarters, financial quarters, and of course the earnings seasons. And the earnings season is basically when the majority of companies, they report their financial results. Okay, when can we expect that? Now, the third, where can you see this information, where you can find information about upcoming earnings, because it is important to know, right, when your company is reporting financial results, when your competitors, the competitor of your company is reporting results, but also it is important when other businesses are reporting their financial results, because it also affects the movements even of your own stock. Now, and of course, probably the main question for now is what can we expect during this particular earnings season, which is already started, right? So is it going to go affect your portfolio in a positive way or negative way? Are you going to make money or you're going to lose money? So it's probably the most important question which you're asking yourself or others, okay? And during this video, if you stay until the end, you will know about it. Why should you know about this earnings season? First of all, it is important to know because the volatility during this season, the market volatility, goes up. As an example, if we don't take the current situation, which is happening with coronavirus, normal like last year or previous year, you will see that daily fluctuation, average fluctuation of the market indexes, it's about 0.3, 0.5, maybe 0.7%, which is already kind of high. During earnings seasons, this volatility will go up. So, and the volatility of indexes will be higher, maybe 1.5%, 1.5 times or 2 times even higher. So instead of 0.3% on the daily, it could be 0.6 or even 1% fluctuation. So you have to know that. Why? Because your portfolio, if you have your portfolio, will go up or will go down on that particular level. Okay, you have to expect that, because if you first time in your investment career experiencing the earnings season and you see that, it might affect your heart and beat, so it's not like that. So that's first thing. Secondly, which is probably even more important, there could be unexpected jumps. The company price, the share price, might jump up or fall down, and not for 1-2%, but 10, 15, maybe 20%. In current time, it could be even 50%, because at the moment the volatility of the market sometimes during the day goes 10%, never mind the individual company. Okay, so if you have some companies in your portfolio and or you're planning to buy some companies for your portfolio, be aware of that, because if you purchase it today and in 2 days the earnings coming up and then your company reports better or worse earnings than they expected, the share price can go 20% down. How are you going to feel it? It's not nice, right? Remember that Warren Buffett says, never lose the money. And the second rule is never forget about the rule number 1. So the reason why I'm saying that, because majority of people say, oh, I believe that this company is going to report good financial results and the price will go up. Yes, it might be the case. But what happens if it is not, right? So the company can go down. As a result, your investment will melt down. In majority of cases, if it is a good company you invest in, it might take a couple months and it will recover, right? So it's not a big problem. But how you're going to feel during this month, 2 months. So sometimes it's much better wait until the earnings, and if the share price collapses, maybe to buy it after that, okay, on a discount, rather than like hope that it will jump after earnings. So when you look at certain strategies, especially if your strategy involves low volatility, you definitely avoid this particular strategy during the earnings season because the volatility is high. And vice versa, if some strategies which you can implement on the market and those strategies are used when volatility is high, that would be the best time to do that. So that's why the professional traders, the traders with a good experience, what they do during the period between earnings seasons, they use one type of strategies, and when the earnings seasons come in, they use another type of strategies. So if you don't know, you better learn before you start kind of playing around. Yeah, ask people who is around you, like people who trade and who are successful, of course. Ask them what do they do, what kind of strategies they use, okay, and then try to replicate it. If you don't know, just go and learn somewhere where you can get the proper information on how to trade during earnings seasons or in between them. Okay, so it is important to know. The next question: when those seasons are, right, during the year located? There are 4 quarters in a year, 4 financial quarters, and of course you can expect that there are 4 seasons. Now, the interesting thing that, first of all, I'd like to say that in different countries, the reporting rules, financial reporting rules are different. So if you take, for example, Australia, we have here financial year ends 30th of June, right? If you take some Eastern European countries like Russia, they have their financial year ends 31st of December, right? But if you take majority of companies in the United States, they have different date when their financial year ends. It could be 24th of September, 15th of November, like 10th of December, etc. Right? Majority of time, it's kind of linked to the date of their company registration. It could be moved a bit, but that's about it. So, and of course, you probably understand that some companies, if their financial year ends, let's say 20th of December, and another company 6th of January, so the first company will be able to prepare their financial reports a bit earlier, and in majority of cases, they're going to report it earlier, right? So that's why when we talk about this earnings season, it's not particular week or day, right? It's a month or even bigger than month. If we take right now the first quarter, like as you can see, it starts somewhere early in April. Some companies, they report in the beginning of April, but majority of financial reporting becomes like in the middle of April. From the middle of April until middle of May, that would be the majority of companies, they report their earnings. Why it is important to know when the majority of companies report? Because that creates the highest volatility of the market. If the one company out of 30,000 companies in the market reports their earnings, it doesn't affect the market. But if there are 10 companies on the same day report and they're all coming up with better earnings, it will affect the market in a negative way. So that's why you need to know when the majority of companies they report. And also it is important to know when the biggest company coming up. Okay, so if there's a small company with a $500 million capitalization, nobody will even notice it. But if the company with capitalization $300 billion, definitely people will pay attention to that. Okay, this is second quarter, as you can see, it's from July until the middle of August. The third quarter from middle of October until middle of November. And the last quarter, fourth quarter, will be reporting in the middle of January and until middle of February. Of course, some companies will go until the end of February and start from the January, not probably early, kind of like that. So these are 4 earnings seasons, and be aware of them. And when you use them, trade them properly. The next questions you might ask: how do I know the exact date for upcoming earnings? Now, there are a lot of financial portals on the internet where you can find this information. It could be Yahoo Finance and Send Money. It could be your broker provide this information about your specific company. So when you go there, you will see, okay, I have Microsoft. When Microsoft is going to report it, and Microsoft will tell you. Also, you can go on the website of that particular company and they will notify you as well. They have to tell you when they're going to report their earnings. Okay, usually earnings reported before the market open, maybe half an hour before that, or after the market opens, not during the like opening time. So usually it's before or after, half an hour before or half an hour later. So that's why you can prepare yourself or read it before the next trading day, if it's after that, or if it's before that, before this particular trading day as well. So it is important to know, right? But also it is important to know what kind of companies reporting today, what kind of companies are going to report tomorrow, especially if you're trading activity, you don't care about the company, you care about the volatility. And for example, your trading strategy is based on that specific date, right? So you need to catch this volatility. So in this particular case, what you do, you go to these two portals, and one of them, one of the kind of probably the most popular, Zax.com. I'm going to put links in description below this video, so please have a look there. So and you can see here that this week, for example, from 12th of April until 18th of April, and we can see on each day. So if you click on 15th of April, we can see that this company is already reported. Today is already 16th, right? Or 17th. Today is April, right? So what we can see here, we can see that that's the companies reported. We can see also the estimated, what they estimated earnings to be, and then what actual, and then surprise, and of course we can see what kind of share price, how it was affected by this earning. Interesting enough, we can see that Citigroup was 19% up in the earnings, but then we see 5% drop. Why, you might ask? Because on the same day we see Bank of America, day before JP Morgan, they reported their earnings and they weren't good, and the projections weren't good for the future. So people believe that all banks will be affected in a similar way, and of course that's why Citigroup, despite their good earnings, they dropped in price as well. Okay, so probably their expectation would be lower than they did it like 2 quarters ago or something like that. So that's why it is very important to know when the company is reporting their earnings, because during that time you might see big volatility not only on that specific stock but also on the market as a whole if this particular company is big. That's first thing. Secondly, it's very important to know if you own some retailer, for instance, if you own stock of Bed Bath & Beyond, right? And you know that Williams-Sonoma, that's a competitor of Bed Bath & Beyond, is reporting 2 days prior to that. So you might want to watch their earnings as well, because if their earnings is good and they're telling, oh, customers are very active, they are buying a lot of products, etc., etc., general like economy is great, and in this particular case you can expect that probably your company is going to do exactly the same, because it's external reason which affects the buying patterns of customers, and you might expect that your company is going to produce better results as well. Okay, in this case you can be calm and confident in that your stock is not going to fall down. But at the same time, if you see that Williams-Sonoma is reporting bad results and they're telling that the general problem, coronavirus and quarantine, and people not going anywhere and not buying furniture at all, and then the Williams-Sonoma stock collapses 50% after that, and your stock is still up, didn't go down yet, so be careful, because in majority of cases, your stock is going to be affected in a similar way, and maybe after earnings it drops down a lot as well. Of course, a lot of people, they already know that, so they monitor both companies, and in a lot of cases that your company will drop down as well in price. Maybe not as much, because people still believe that maybe my company is better and maybe earnings will be better, but still you can be prepared. At least you can hedge your company using put options or call options in some way or another, and be prepared for that. At least you won't be surprised. So that's why it is important to know when the earnings are, and now you know where to get this information. Now, Interactive Broker provides information on your individual stocks. In my particular portfolio, I see constantly when the stock is going to report their earnings, and I try not to enter position before the earnings, because I don't like this volatility. I prefer to buy it afterwards, when I see that company is already reported and I can read it and I can see what is going on within this company. The final question, what can we expect from this particular season, right, which already has started? And it is a big problem. We already looked, you probably watched different videos with different overview of current situation. But during this video, what I want to show you is that some industries, they're going to perform really, really badly. Okay, they're affected the most by all these activities which is happening to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Okay, and you know that airline industry in a big trouble, tourism industry in a big trouble, all right, some hotels in a big trouble, entertainment industry in certain area like parks, concerts in a big trouble, cruise liners in a very big trouble. So all these industries, they affected a lot. When they're going to report their earnings, what kind of earnings you can expect? What do you think after that is going to happen? And if their results are worse than we can expect now, probably the share price will go down. Okay, so what I've done here, I put 4 columns. I took those industries from Value Line. Value Line is one of analytical companies which Warren Buffett uses, and I use it as well. And 101 industry here. So I've divided them in 4 categories. Now, again, guys, that's my opinion. Okay, you might have different opinion because of your additional knowledge in certain industries, right? Here, just based on my experience, my education, that's what I put. So first, red, like dark red, those industries which will be affected the most, in my opinion. Okay, so stay definitely away from those industries or play on the downside, short them, kind of in a way, buy puts or maybe short the shares, etc. So the second column, red one, I believe it will be affected, not as much as the first one, but still will be affected in a negative way. Okay, the third column, those industries, they would be kind of like neutral. They might be affected in a certain way, but not badly, like which will bring the company into bankruptcy. Definitely not, right? So these specific companies, they will be in some cases even better, in some cases a bit worse, but not in a big thing, right? So this type of actions, they are not affecting this specific area, okay? And the fourth column, I believe those industries will be beneficial, they're benefiting from current situation in the market. So they're making more money they would make if this crisis didn't happen, okay? So that's why if you see that these specific businesses reporting better results, like they're showing better profitability, better level of sales, but the price did go down because the general market goes down, it represents pretty good opportunity for you because you might invest in the companies which making more money and buy them at a cheaper price. But of course, guys, before you invest in any particular company, you have to analyze that particular company. You don't put money just based on the industry, because in some industries, for example, I'm researching right now companies in pipeline industry, and some of them, they're in trouble, right? But some companies, they are really benefiting. Refining industry, also same story, because refining industry, the price of the oil collapsed down. Those refiners which have also part of their business pumping oil, they're suffering. But if the refining industry right now, what they do, they just buy oil, refine it and sell as a final product. So what happens? The cost goes down. And then if they sell the end product, they don't sell in wholesale. So for example, some refining companies, what they do, they refine and sell petrol, diesel in wholesale. They don't have contact to retailers. They have to reduce their prices as well. But if the company has end user, so they sell directly to petrol stations, or they have petrol stations, they have oil, they have like building products, etc., etc. So those companies, they're benefiting because their margin is becoming bigger. They're buying oil at a cheaper price, but they're selling product a bit cheaper, but the margin is still bigger. So be aware of this situation. So, and of course, it might give you certain overview of the companies, and you might invest in that specific company, but don't invest in another one. So research the business before you just jump in any particular industry. Okay, guys, that's my opinion. Please pause here if you want and research it in more details. And if you have companies in the first column in those industries, so think twice if you want to keep them. without hedging, or maybe just to think something about hedging. And if you guys have any questions, and if you want me to to record another educational video, or maybe review some other companies or industry, etc., so please put it in comments below. Okay, so, and I'll try to answer during the next video. So if you like this video, please put like. It's nice to see that. And if you believe that I provide good value, so please subscribe to our channel, press this bell that you will get notification about our next videos. And of course, if you believe that somebody can benefit from this video, share this video with your friends. Okay, and guys, learn to surf the marketplace, because if you know how to do that, you're going to make good money in the market and enjoy the process. All the best. Enjoy this quarantine. It was Igor Vasiliev, Global Investment Academy. See you during next video.